What's up guys, this is Shanan. Today we're going to check out Kuchai Sentral in Kuchai Lama. Let's go! Just before we go check out the project, which is right behind us right now, that is located pretty central in Kuchai Lama. And for those who are not familiar with the location, basically Kuchai Lama consists of a few characteristics. One, busy, congested, and meriah. So right in front of the project, we can see rows and rows of shop lots. So you can see here, those will be the shop lots around the area that consists of the entrepreneur park as well. And today is like a very good day because it's still very early. But during the evening, right, just the fact that you can get a double park is already considered very lucky. The main circulation pathway here will be via two main infrastructure. One will be MPE highway that cuts across the location. The other one will be the brand new MRT station. So that is already in operation. That will be cool. And this one, arguably, you can still walk lah, but ketiak akan basah lah. Then the last one will be the congested, right? So cutting across Jalan Kuchai Lama, this will be Jalan Kuchai Maju. So when you cut across, this will be one of the main pathways into the project. So you just look at it, right? Just in case this road is too big, this is a proper car park space. And this will be the experience going back home. I'm not too sure, but sooner or later, right, this car park's got to go, because like now you just look at it, right? This is the main entrance into the site. Wow. Then on the other side also, it's not that great also because it's via a local road, a housing road coming into the project itself. On the other side of the entrance, then this is the local road that I was saying just now. So there will be cars parking both sides of the road because this is next to a somewhat low-cost housing. I think it's a rather old one. Then coming in, going through an abandoned building, that will be the project that we're going to check out today. Everything else that is within the developer's jurisdiction, they have made good. Just that everything that is beyond their jurisdiction, then yeah. So it means from the walking pathways, from landscape treatments, from the commercial down there, because this is a mixed development, it looks promising, but just that this kind of thing, seriously don't know what to do with them. Hopefully the Urban Renewal Act, right, can be in place soon. So that will be the main entrance into the project, right? And here, this will be the drop off into the building. So it's a double ceiling height structure here. And this will be my news really. So it's a mixed development, right? So this will be all the commercial, and the entrance to the project will be that next to a cafe. So in terms of privacy, then I don't know, when you bring people back, right, everybody will see, but in exchange for that, you will have that ultimate convenience lah. So looking at it, this one just handed over not too long ago. You can see a lot of elements of convenience already, which is always nice. I always like it, especially in urban setting, right? But when the retail is not doing well, it also creates the stigma like now, okay? But it's new lah. But when it's not managed properly, you have all the wrong tenants at the wrong time, right? It might create this eerie feeling. And this extends across to phase 2 as well, which is going to be similar. And I'm actually looking forward to it actually. So when that happens, the ground floor and all this commercial, right, will all tie together. Then for visitors, you can actually just park B1 and B2. But for the residents, then you need to go straight, right, to go up to the elevated car park. And that will be for residents, okay? So just imagine if this area is prosperous, this will be jammed up and the way back home is also hindered lah. But that's the best case scenario lah. So coming up from the drop off next to my news, right in front there will be a proper door coming into the residence block itself, and there will be several checkpoints. One will be the security checkpoints where you can drop off all your delivery and things like that. Then one more checkpoint before you get the mailbox and the entrance to the lift lobby. Coming up up. This will be the lift lobby itself. The width is 2.3, the ceiling height is 2.5, right? You will have full tile up treatments for the entire lobby. That looks very nice. Also, you will have some deco, aluminium lift panel. That's nice. And the only source of light will be this, which I think is also very clever because this lift lobby serves unit at both sides of the corridor. So usually formats like this, the lift core will be pretty much enclosed, but then they kind of tapped into the void within. So that's nice. So after looking online for the floor plate design, this will be it. Tower A and Tower B, since we are in Tower A right now, you can see the giant void in the center that separates all units together, right? Where you have the 5 lifts in the center as well, servicing all units in a single loaded corridor format. For the Tower B then, it's a little bit different. You don't have the major air well in the center like this one, but you have the small voids in between the unit and the corridor, okay? So here per floor you will have 14 units in total. This one you will also have 14 units in total. And connected to the corridor, this will be the access, partitioned by a fire door. The corridor width is very nice, 1.8, and now it's about noon, so it's very bright, and this will be the core in the center of the block. So it's very bright, very white. Just that I'm questioning why the latch needs to be so big. It's going to be a hangout spot for all the birds eventually. Then in terms of height, the ceiling height here is 2.55, covered all the way with plaster ceiling. So it's actually very tidy. And in terms of detailings, in first glance, everything is very impressive. This will be the central void here. This will be the secondary void that kind of separates the unit from the corridor itself. They're using spray painting. This is slightly slanted to prevent water from staying around too long. There will be drains around the bigger void. Then at the end of the corridor, this will be the service lift. And in total, there will be 4 passenger lift, 1 service lift servicing the whole floor. Next to the service lift, this will be the refuse bin. Okay, and there you go. So in terms of size, it's pretty solid. You will have a very high tiled wall, very easy to maintain. 3 bins. There will be a ramp here to ease the movements of the tong sampah. Very good. And massive windows for ventilation. Anyway, from the corridor coming to the end, this will be the unit that we're going to check out today. And this kind of layout is kind of my favorite because it's so underrated. Just because everybody has a common area here, indirectly it belongs to these neighbors altogether. But the very short air wells actually leads to an overlooking issue. So like now I can actually just see through the neighbors like that. Privacy will be a concern. And this will be the unit I'm going to check out today. Okay, so coming in, there will be a grill. There will be a step into the foyer. This size here is nice. The width is 1.6. This is 1 meter deep, solid. And let's go check out the unit. And this will be the unit I'm going to check out today. This is type B1, 848 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and it comes with 1 car park. And when we come into the foyer, you have the kitchen tucked at the side here. That's connected to the aircon latch. Dining, living connected over to the balcony. Very nice. Then you will have 2 bedrooms here. Both will be attached to the facade. And there will be a common bath here. One will be an ensuite bath connected to the master bedroom. So the clearance of the door is 920 mm in width. Weirdly, the height is 2.21 meters in clearance. Yeah, unique size door, pretty nice. And coming in, tucked at the side, you will have a rather large kitchen area. Then you will have the dining and then the living connected to the balcony already. So the ceiling height is 2.83 and it's flat across the whole unit. This width here from wall to wall is 2.45. In comparison to the overall unit size, I think this is very nice because here you can actually have a U-shaped cabinet all together. And looking at it, I think these are provided by the developer because you have the same brand of washer and dryer along with the fridge, which is solid looking. This will be the location of the fridge. Top cabinet, bottom cabinet, hood and hob with a 3-burner. You have this terrazzo kind of hard surface here. Backsplash, they use tiles, switches, no brand. And this will be the basin connected to the void, I think. Yeah, so this will be the void looking out from the kitchen already. So this is kind of nice because you will have daylight to your basin, but you gotta keep it close because of the stairwell. Okay, and why this feels big as well, because this includes the yard space. So they don't have a yard space, but they put the washer and dryer here. So this one, gotta just be a bit more careful on the direction of the stove with the water direction. In terms of wall tiles, 5 feet, 1.5 meters. Floor tile, 600 by 600 mm, and it's applied across the entire unit layout. There's no specified matte surface tile just for the work area. This one is consistent. So looking into the property portal today, the selling price for this is about 520 to 560,000. Well, that depends on is it the high floor or low floor or corner unit or intermediate unit. That will become very interesting because for the lower unit that is bigger, it's almost the same price too. So when you guys are studying, right, if you're interested in this, please do take that into consideration. And in terms of asking rent, this unit is asking for 2,008 per month for this fully furnished unit lah. So non-furnished one, you can see about 2,000 to 2,000 ringgit still got, but you need to furnish everything yourself lah. Anyway, let's check out the dimension. Wall to wall is very nice, 3.05 meters. Solid. And so after putting in the dining table, right, you still have so much space for circulation. And this will be the living room going out to the balcony. Before checking that, there will be a level of tint to the sliding door. That's nice. And this will be the better orientation, I think. And this is the importance then of the building height as mentioned. So if you are lower unit, you'll be facing the adjacent building, but if you are high enough, you actually get this block view, so-called block view lah. But again, you will have the overlooking issue to the adjacent unit, not very nice. And this is the typology of the site. You will have landed houses, a lot of commercial shop lots, highways, and infrastructures. Only about 15 years ago, all these brand new buildings all coming up lah. Anyway, the balcony size is very nice, 1.2 meters in width and length is about 3 meters. You will have a steel handrail, and this will be a very proper setup for the aircon latch. And you can see that it's done in accordance to the window height for the room as well. So when you look out, you don't notice the aircon compressors, and this is a very safe way to install as well. And just for information, one of the main attraction point for this location also is the direct connection to main locations such as Bukit Jalil, OUG, Old Klang Road, Taman Desa. Technically, for a non-KL person, it's all the same location. But only if you are a local, right, this matters to you. And this literally is also KL address already. Via the Sungai Besi Highway, via the MPE Highway, you can get to the city already. For the balcony, they are using this kind of rectangular tiles, very nice. They are using the finer spray paint texture for the external walls. And surprisingly, from this side, there is not much noise because the traffics are actually slower, because this one actually go to OUG side. The roads are also smaller within this area lah. Well, something to talk about here will be the characteristic of old addresses. So this one, the existing community has been around for many years. That's why it has formed a level of convenience for brand new residents. So like the Pasar Malam, the wet market, the commercial areas, schools, amenities, right, parks, everything is all there already, and you have existing communities around. So if you are pretty familiar with the location like me, there are certain hotspots for good food, and everybody knows everybody. They will talk to each other as if like, hey, how's your kid, how's the mother-in-law, is everything fine, and things like that. That is part of the sense of community that a lot of locals actually like. However, that comes with very old infrastructure as well. That's why from the roads, they are narrower in width. You don't have that luxury of space to build a bicycle lane, a sidewalk, a landscape buffer that's dividing the road and the pedestrian walkway. No such thing, right? This one got road already, very good. And that results also in the earlier point, as you mentioned, in the commercial area, right? So the commercial area, yes, it means convenience, but it also means a lot of congestion and noise during the night. So it's a balance of what you want, but definitely you want to raise a family here, shouldn't be a problem. If you expect peace and quiet, I don't think so because here, actually very happening From the living there, moving on, this is a corridor going into the room. This is a 2-bedroom unit. So this is 1.02 meters. There will be a drop in ceiling height here, and you will have plaster ceiling. This will be the common shared bathroom. Wow, full height wall tiles. Then you will have a very generous size window, WC and basin by Johnson Swiss. Yeah. Then this will be the shower area. So you will have a shower screen, very nice, and this will be the shower system. I'm not too sure whether it is provided by the developer. But anyway, here you have a compartment to put in your shampoos and stuff. Right opposite, this will be bedroom number 1, and the owner kind of left it empty for flexibility of the tenant. The wall-to-wall width is 2.45 meters, the length is nice, 4 meters. So here perfectly you can fit in a queen size bed with wardrobe and side table, and the window scale is very nice. So you have 3 panels like this. The bottom, like we see just now, those will be the aircon compressors outside, and there will be a box up on the ceiling. So this will be the location of the blower. For flooring, then it will be laminated timber floor with timber skirting. 1 plug point here, another plug point there. This bedroom is nice. The width is 2.83 and the length is about 5.4 meters. That's why you put in a queen size bed here. Looks rather small for the whole unit. You can put another bed there and you still have space. Yeah, it's that long. And it's also enhanced via the size of the window. It's almost a full height window on a latch, which I like. Then you can open them via panels like this, and even stretch across the corner here. So you just look at it, right? There will be a level of tinting. Just that I don't like the overlooking thing. Yes, this window here is very nice, but I look into what? The side wall of my neighbor, is it? What's the point? So that corner window there would make more sense. This one, I don't know what's going on now. Anyway, you have the similar laminated timber floor, timber skirtings, again, wardrobe space. Is this a window as well? Yes, it's also a window, again looking to the side of the neighbor but it's for ventilation. So when you open this, because this is on the corner, that's why you will have a possibility of having an end wall, an individual standing wall to put in your facade. Moving on, this will be the master bath. We have Johnson Swiss basin and WC. The size is huge, full height wall tiles with a massive window. Then this will be the shower area, shower screen, same compartment for storage. Nice. Okay, so now we are on the sky deck, the highest sky deck, and you will have glass railing all the way to 1.5 meters, right, for safety purposes. And you will have a corridor, and that's about it. You will have some facade treatments, somewhat like a tree branch to add into that verticality. Ta-da! This will be what we get, but the unit that we visited just now was on a higher floor, so you kind of get a view that is better than this. But that's the unit that we went before. I think that's 216. This is just right next to it, and we are sandwiched between the old apartments lah. So these will be the main circulation entrance. You can see cars are just parked illegally at the roadside. What to do, right? But this will be the main pathway going into the highway already. So from the main highway coming in, this will be it coming into this way. So here will be the junction coming in, and that will be Bukit Jalil, that will be Sri Petaling. And now we are in level 8, which is the facility deck, and coming out straight away we are welcomed with a very large area of nothing lah. Well, it's always a debate, like if you put them all as turfings, right, a lot of maintenance. But then since you have the floor plate, because you have the structure for car parks already, right, might as well use it. So they just leave it empty, put in some patterns of cement screedings, right? I think it's okay lah, so it's a pretty common treatment for now. Then at the fringe you will have the landscape, so people won't get too close to the edges, right? Then here they provide all glass railings for us to look at phase 2. So this will be Kuchai Sentral phase 2. A lot more units coming up, but I do appreciate the facade treatments, and this is going to be beneficial for the retail component downstairs, okay? So now we are in a barbecue area where you have sitting areas in conjunction with that, partitioned by small little landscape treatments and islands. Next to that you will have the lap pool. Well, this lap pool in terms of length I think it's pretty solid. I think it's 35 to 40 meters lap pool, but just that the width is rather limited in conjunction to the number of units lah. So this was block A, that is block B, and within the pool they use the lighter color of tiles. There will be some islands for your kombuchas, some chill out area, but when you have so many units looking at you, right? So in terms of decks, they are using the timber-like tiles, so this is where you can hang out. On the edges, then this will be the garden where you have hammocks and trees, so that's nice, right? Just some space to kind of escape away from all the busyness of the city. And I do like the red stilts across, those are foliage, so it really adds drama to the space. And at the fringe, this will be the landscape treatments. Pretty minimalist overall, but just that I don't understand, all these areas are tiled up, but in areas that we cannot access as residents, those we will have turfings. Why? It's so hard to maintain those areas. And then for areas that you can maintain and you can access, right, they give you concrete with colors lah, they give you tiles lah. Why? But overall the structure design is very tidy because they adopted the transfer slab. So if you look into this structure here, right, so this is to relay out the entire structural system between the car park and the units lah. Here you have the shear wall system connected to the beams and column system below. So this is very expensive to construct, but as a result you will have a space that is very tidy in your facility stack. So we just came out from the gym. It's a very big gym, which I appreciate. Everything else is just minimal, but the gym is something solid. In terms of machine, it's furnished by two companies. One is Vision Fitness, one is Matrix. And the amount of treadmills and exercise machine is also a lot, looking into the density lah. So I think it's nice. You will have full height glazing, which is solid, and this is located next to the children playground, which I think technically it should be under the building instead. So right in front of the gym you will have a kids wading pool and a sunken basketball court. Very nice. And just for safety they put in more railings to prevent people from falling down. But how I just wish this could be built underneath the structure instead. But as we are speaking right now, I think we are going to have a thunderstorm. Ramanya! But yeah, so if this is built within the structure, right, we could have just have more freedom for kids to enjoy. But now, right, thunderstorm cannot play it. Weather too hot cannot play. Anyway, between block A and B, there will be a covered walkway and you will have glass roof. So that's nice. And to prevent water from splashing in, they added in all these window treatments. Nice. Anyway, at this other side of the facility floor, you continue to have a lot of space, but then they kind of decorated it, which I appreciate, right? So for kids, I think empty space is good enough. They can run around, and it's next to the games room. Then you have meeting rooms as well. Then you will have a sports room, which is away from the games room, right? So that one got mahjong table. Here you have ping pong and snooker. And last of all, you will have a reading room here, which is all decorated pretty nicely actually. So now we are in the elevated car park, level 3 to be exact, and this will be the lift lobby, right? So I like that there's an apron, so in terms of safety, buffer away from the road, yeah, I like it, right? And there will be a ramp, so when you have strollers or you will have groceries or trolleys or whatsoever, right? You can still easily move them. Then in terms of flooring, you have cement screeding, you have the flat slab structure, so it's very tidy. But that's something to highlight because this is adjacent next to the abandoned building. So I don't know what building is this, and I don't know what's the plan for this. This seems to be the hindrance. Without this, right, I think this location and development is like superb. Yeah, gotta live with this lah. But it's not like you really pay attention to it because I like that at this level going up a little bit further, right, you don't really see this structure already, only when you are in the main drop-off and the car park. Anyway, for pedestrian walkway, they will have the epoxy paint, which is nice, and it's okay lah, not too dark even during rain time, right? So they don't have a speed ramp, so now every car will just turn up in one way, turn one circle to go up lah. Right, so that will be revolving around block B, but for block A, then you will just drive down accordingly. So in terms of density, right, this is actually more dangerous if you use this lobby. And I guess that's all for the project today. It's now time for Sean's take 3 on 3. The very first thing I like, definitely the location of it, because it's a very familiar location for myself as well. It's connected to all the main addresses like Sri Petaling, OUG, Old Klang Road, Bukit Jalil, and etc. And it's also connected via all the main highways like Sungai Besi, like MPE, and etc. You also have a MRT here, walking distance or not, that's up to argument, right? But in these kind of locations, then it comes with the maturity of the population. So it's filled with very mature amenities like schools, market, commercial areas, restaurants, and etc. So basically, if you move in right straight away, you can live in this location already. So that's always great. And when you do this, right, all the studies in terms of rental, in terms of everything else, right, very easy to do. Then the second thing I really like will be the details around the common areas. So like when we walk in, right, if you look into the pathways of the commercial area, the common corridor with the facilities, deck, and etc., right, it feels very, very spacious. Although the amount of density feels crazy from the first glance, right? Wow, super narrow and congested, right? But when you just walk around the spaces, all the areas that is supposed to be big, it's big. All the areas that they can save on, they actually save on. And if you look into the product design, like the corner unit that we just visited, right? The foyer space is amazing. When you walk into the space, the width is nice, the height is nice. The back of house ratio, which is the kitchen and yard area in accordance to the unit layout, I think is superb. Then you have the corner window, that's very nice. Overall, for a 2-bedroom unit at 898 square feet, right, it's very luxurious. And it's amazing that they do this at this price range. So if you were to buy a sub-sale today and if you rent out at the market rate today, actually it's a rather good investment, which is also perfect for own stay if you're just raising a family here. So anytime 3 to 5 years time you want to upgrade, right, this shouldn't be a problem. And the last thing I like will be the program of it, because this is situated in between the urban area, in between all the landed taman-taman, right? So now by having a commercial component downstairs, it provides you that level of convenience. And just to illustrate the level of people here, right, a cafe here that just opened, right, already packed, like, yeah, but it's all Chinese lah. So here is a very Chinese oriented area. Not only that, then you also have a walking distance commercial area. So residents of this building, once you walk out, wow, a few hundred shops, no issue. Then you have Pasar Malam also. Wow, in terms of commercial activity, here is really prosperous, and that's good. However, that can be the setback as well, because it might create congestion, especially from the entrance point of view, because they are actually sharing the same entrance. Therefore, when this shop lot area is doing very, very well, it will be congested as well. So since residents want to go up through the main entrance and drop off, you need to drive through that. Too bad lor. You need to share the same entrance. And that will also compromise on the level of privacy, because the entrance of the towers is also right next to the main entrance and drop off. Yeah, if these commercial areas don't do good, it's going to be a problem. So it looks like it's being abandoned, right? If it's do very good, it will also be a problem. So that's the dilemma of having a mixed development all the time. So I would suggest if you are raising a family here, don't raise too long. So you can actually upgrade from here, which I bet if you are eyeing in this project, right, you will have that vision already. The second thing I don't like then will be the level of density around this area. Within this location, there's just apartments after apartments after apartments, all trying to leverage on the main convenience and maturity of this location. So if you are a buyer here, then you will need to do a lot of research on which one works better for you. Is it something like 216 where it's full residential that is more suitable for you but it's closer to the main road, or you want a mixed development that's adjacent to a commercial area that would suit better to you? Right? It's one street away, but in terms of characteristic, very, very different. And that's the last point as well. The microsite elements, mainly the access lah. So on one side you need to go through a very narrow road among the commercial area. The other one you need to drive through a road also narrow, but it's caused by all the illegal side parking next to a low-cost apartment. Then you will have an abandoned building next to you. In first glance, the feeling, right, is not as great, but surprisingly, everything within the development is all superb. Just that when it's beyond their jurisdiction, then too bad lah. And I guess that's all for this project. I am looking forward to phase 2 that is coming up pretty strong, but then that further adds up to the density lah. But based on the segregation, on safety and privacy, well done. And I guess that's all for today. If you really like this episode, like it, share it, even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.